Hello everybody. So we continue with our lecture on molecular orbital theory. In the previous lecture we have dealt with the postulates of the MO theory, that means the molecular orbital theory, and in this lecture we will be dealing with the application of the MO postulates for explaining the structure, the stability, and the bond order, as well as the magnetic properties of homonuclear diatomic covalent molecules. So let us see what is a MO diagram, or how we can draw the MO diagram. So this is our typical MO diagram, that means the molecular orbital diagram, and this is nothing but the arrangement of the molecular orbitals in increasing order of the energy. So as we can see that for any molecule from hydrogen through nitrogen, we have to draw the MO diagram in this fashion. So first, that means the lowest molecular orbital is belonging to the sigma 1s, and then is the sigma star 1s, and both are developed as a result of the overlap of the 1s atomic orbitals. Now next is the sigma 2s and the sigma star 2s, and sigma star 2s is having a higher energy level as compared to the sigma 2s, and both are developed as a result of the overlap of the 2s atomic orbitals. Now the 2p atomic orbitals, they are overlapping to give rise to the that means there are three 2p atomic orbitals. So that means the three 2p atomic orbitals will overlap with the three 2p atomic orbitals to give rise to 3 plus 3, that means total of 6 molecular orbitals. So that means the 2px atomic orbital is overlapping with the 2px atomic orbital to give rise to sigma 2px and the sigma star 2px. Similarly, the 2py is overlapping with the 2py to give rise to the pi 2py and the pi star 2py molecular orbitals. And similarly, the 2pz atomic orbital is overlapping with the 2pz atomic orbital to give rise to a pi 2pz and the pi star 2pz molecular orbitals. But when we are arranging the molecular orbitals, we are finding that the pi 2py and the pi 2pz molecular orbital are degenerate, that means they are having similar or the same energy levels, and both are at a lower energy level as compared to a sigma 2px molecular orbital. Now the pi star 2py and the pi star 2pz, again they are degenerate molecular orbitals, and both are having a lower energy level as compared to the sigma star 2px molecular orbital. Now this pattern of arranging the molecular orbitals has to be same for any molecule from hydrogen through nitrogen. So that means you have to follow the order, that is sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, pi 2py, pi 2pz, then the sigma 2px, pi star 2py, pi star 2pz, and last is the sigma star 2p x. So after drawing this molecular orbital diagram, our next step is to fill the electrons as per the Bose principle, the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, and the Pauli's exclusion principle. Now here you can also write the order of energy of the molecular orbitals in this fashion, that is sigma 1s, then sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, the pi 2py equal to pi 2pz, the sigma 2px, then the pi star 2py equal to pi star 2pz, and last is the sigma star 2px. Now let us come to the molecular orbital diagram for any molecule from oxygen through neon. Now here also this is a MO diagram. Again the molecular orbitals are arranged in the order of increasing energy level, and the lowest energy level is corresponding to sigma 1s, then the sigma star 1s, the sigma 2s, and the sigma star 2s. So that means these up to this, the arrangement of the molecular orbital is same as for the hydrogen through nitrogen MO diagram. Now let us come to the MO diagram of the oxygen through neon. Here we find that the sigma 2px is having a lower energy level as compared to the pi 2py and the pi 2pz molecular orbital, and these antibonding molecular orbitals, they are same as in the previous slide. So you can see in this hydrogen through nitrogen. The molecular orbital diagram is showing that the pi star 2py is having a equal pi star 2pz energy level, and both are at a lower energy level as compared to the sigma star 2px molecular orbital. So here also we find that in the case of oxygen through neon, the pi star 2py and the pi star 2pz have equal energy, and both are at a lower energy level as compared to the sigma star 2px molecular orbital. Now let us come to the molecular orbital diagram of hydrogen. So hydrogen is having atomic number of 1. The number of electrons in a hydrogen molecule is 2. And let us draw the MO diagram of hydrogen. So here 1 is atomic orbital and the 1 is atomic orbital of both two hydrogen atoms. They overlap to give rise to the sigma 1s and the sigma star 1s molecular orbital. And after drawing this MO diagram, in the increasing order of energy, we have to fill the electrons. So that means there are a total of 2 electrons, and these 2 electrons will be filled in the lowest energy level. So that means the sigma 1s is accommodating the 2 electrons, and the antibonding molecular orbital is having a 0 electrons. The bond order is 2 minus 0 divided by 2, so it is having a bond order of 1. So that means this signifies that hydrogen is a stable molecule and this molecule exists, whereas the molecule is diamagnetic. Why? Because there are no unpaired electrons. Now let us come to the helium molecule. Helium is having an atomic number of 2 and the total number of electrons in a helium molecule is 4. Now let us draw the MO diagram. Here the 1s atomic orbital is overlapping with the 1s atomic orbital of 2 helium atoms to give rise to 2 molecular orbitals. One is the sigma 1s and another is the sigma star 1s. And after drawing the MO diagram, in the order of increasing energy level, we have to fill the electrons. So that means that there is a total of 4 electrons in this molecule. So the 4 electrons will be accommodated in the sigma 1s as well as in the sigma star 1s molecular orbital. The bond order is 2 minus 2 whole divided by 2, that is giving a figure of 0. So 2 in the bonding, 2 in the antibonding, 2 minus 2 whole divided by 2 equal to 0. So that means the helium molecule is not a stable molecule, it does not exist. Now let us come to the lithium molecule. Lithium is having an atomic number of 3. The total number of electrons in a lithium molecule is 6. So let us draw the MO diagram. Here we have straight away come to the 2s atomic orbital of lithium. That means we are not considering the 1s atomic orbital of lithium, because the 1s atomic orbital of lithium are not involved in bonding, and for that reason they are not considered. So now let us come to the 2s atomic orbital of lithium. They are overlapping with each other to give rise to 2 molecular orbitals. This is the sigma 2s and this is the sigma star 2s. So now let us come to the filling of the electrons. There are total 2 electrons and both will be accommodated in the sigma 2s molecular orbital. Now let us calculate the bond order. It is 2 minus 0. 0 why? Because there are no electrons in the antibonding molecular orbital. So it is 2 minus 0 whole divided by 2 equal to 1. So that means this molecule exists. It's a stable molecule and there are no unpaired electrons. Hence this molecule is diamagnetic. Now let us come to beryllium molecule. Atomic number of beryllium is 4. Total number of electrons in a beryllium molecule is 8. So let us come to the MO diagram. So here again we have not considered the 1s atomic orbital of beryllium. The 2s atomic orbitals is overlapping with the 2s atomic orbital of another beryllium atom, and to give rise to 2 molecular orbitals. One is the sigma 2s, another is the sigma star 2s, and they are first arranged in the order of the increasing energy level. That means sigma 2s is at a lower energy level and the sigma star 2s is at a higher energy level. Now comes to the filling of the electrons. That means there are a total of 4 electrons in this molecule and 4 valence electrons in this molecule, and 4 will be accommodated in the sigma 2s and the sigma star 2s molecular orbital. So the bond order is 2 minus 2 whole divided by 2, that is giving a figure of 0. So that means the beryllium molecule is not a stable molecule, it does not exist. Now let us come to the boron molecule. The boron is having atomic number of 5. So total number of electrons in a boron molecule is 10. Now again, we consider only the valence electrons. So this is the 2s atomic orbital overlapping with the 2s atomic orbital, and this is all, these electrons are not involved in bonding. So we will not take this into account while calculating the bond order. Now let us come to the valence electrons. Now the one electron is there in the one of the p atomic orbitals, and so the two p atomic orbitals, they overlap, and we are getting an arrangement like this. That means the pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz, they are having a lower energy level as compared to the sigma 2 px, and the pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz at molecular orbitals, they are having the similar energy. Now since there are two valence electrons, so both the electrons will each be occupied by the pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz molecular orbital. Here the Hund's rule is applicable. Now let us calculate the bond order. We know that the bond order is nothing but the bonding molecular orbital electrons minus the antibonding molecular electrons. So that means there are 2 electrons in the bonding molecular orbital, so it is 2 minus 0 whole divided by 2, we get a figure of 1. So that means the boron molecule is a stable molecule, it is existing, and the boron here is paramagnetic because of the presence of the unpaired electrons. Now let us come to the molecule carbon. Carbon is having an atomic number of 6. The total number of electrons in a carbon molecule is 12. Here again there are 2 electrons in the valence atomic orbital, and that means there are total 4 electrons. The 4 electrons will be accommodated in the pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz molecular orbital. So that means there are total of 4 electrons in the bonding molecular orbital. The bond order is 4 minus 0 whole divided by 2, we get a bond order of 2. So that means the carbon is a stable molecule and it is diamagnetic because there is the absence of the unpaired electrons. Now let us come to the nitrogen molecule. Nitrogen is having atomic number of 7. The total number of electrons in the nitrogen molecule is 14. So that means there are 3 electrons, valence electrons in the 3p atomic orbitals, and all the 6 electrons, they will be accommodated in the bonding molecular orbital, 2 in the pi 2 py molecular orbital, 2 in the pi 2 pz molecular orbital, and 2 in the sigma 2 px molecular orbital. And the 2s electrons are not involved in bonding, so this will not be taken into account while calculating the bond order. So what is the bond order now? There are total 6 electrons in the bonding molecular orbital minus 0 in the antibonding molecular orbital whole divided by 2, we are getting a figure of 3. So that means the nitrogen is a stable molecule. It is having 3 bonds between 2 nitrogen atoms. So nitrogen is diamagnetic because there is no unpaired electrons. Now let us come to the oxygen molecule. As I have already discussed, this molecule will have a different MO diagram. Here we see that there is no difference in the 2s, but let us come to the p molecular orbitals. That means the sigma 2px is having a lower energy level as compared to the pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz, and so that means we are finding that there are total of 4 valence electrons in the 3p atomic orbitals. So that means total of 8 valence electrons are there, and these 8 electrons are accommodated in this manner. That means 2 electrons are there in the sigma 2px molecular orbital, 2 in the antibonding molecular orbital, 2 in the bonding molecular orbital, that is pi 2 py and the pi 2 pz, and 2 in the antibonding molecular orbital, 1 each in the pi star 2 py and the pi star 2 pz. So that means the bond order is calculated as there are 6 bonding molecular orbital electrons minus 2 in the antibonding molecular orbital electrons whole divided by 2, so we get a bond order of 2. So that means oxygen molecule is a stable molecule and there are 2 bonds between 2 oxygen atoms, and oxygen is paramagnetic because there are unpaired electrons. So we have finished the application of the MO postulates and drawing the MO diagram for homonuclear diatomic covalent molecules from hydrogen to neon. So that means we have finished this topic. So in the next lecture, we'll be dealing with the heteronuclear diatomic covalent molecules. Hope you have understood this concept, and thank you for listening to me.